evening. The 2019 elections in America are upon us. There are important local elections across the country, including mayoral elections in important American cities such as Charlotte, Philly, San Francisco, and Houston, as well as state legislature elections in both houses of Mississippi, Louisiana, and Virginia. There's one in the lower house of New Jersey's state legislature as well. There are also gubernatorial elections in Kentucky, Mississippi, and Louisiana, which I will spend the bulk of this video speaking about. All three of those elections are close. Mississippi and Kentucky have Republican incumbents, whereas Mississippi's cannot run for re-election due to term limits. Louisiana also has a Democratic governor who is running for re-election. Now, I'm going to speak about him first. He is a popular governor, John Bel Edwards, Democrat from Louisiana. 52% approval rating, 31% disapproval. That is comparable to other very popular Democratic governor, Republican state governors, such as Laura Kelly of Kansas and Steve Bullock of Montana. He does surprisingly well for in the extremely conservative state of Louisiana. Now, this election he is facing Eddie Rispone is a businessman who has never held a political office before. He does not have very good name recognition in the state of Louisiana. He's just basically running as a Republican. And that is what he hopes to win off of. Edwards hopes to win off of the fact that he is a popular governor who has been serving Mississippi well for ages. He is a extremely conservative Democrat. He passed a abortion ban after a certain period of time, which most Democrats wouldn't do, and many would straight up object to. But he did that because he is in a very conservative state. I'm not necessarily for or against that, but it's fact. They held a jungle primary, which is this weird primary system where there are the top two candidates of all of the parties. They win. The top two go to a runoff together. John Bel Edwards and Eddie Rispone were the top two candidates. Eddie Rispone beat out Ralph Abraham, who seemed to be the favorite for Republicans for a while. He is the U.S. representative for Louisiana's 5th congressional district, though he was beat by Rispone narrowly, in results of 27.4% for Rispone, 23.6% for Abraham. John Bel Edwards got 46.6% of the vote, and he needed 50% exactly to just win and not have a runoff. But they do. They're having a runoff because he got 46.6% of the vote. Polling is showing Edwards being in the lead, which, yes, he is in the lead in a very conservative state. I see, based on his incumbency, very wild popularity, Eddie Rispone not having good name recognition, and polls, I see a lean Democrat scenario in Louisiana, which means it will be close, but it will not be absurdly close. It will not be called 2 weeks in the future. Who knows? This is just my predictions. I'm just some teenager from Massachusetts. But, so the next state I'm going to cover is Kentucky. Kentucky's governor, Matt Bevin, is, he's way down here. Just gotta scroll. Oh, here he is, Republican governor of Kentucky, Matt Bevin. He is very unpopular. The most unpopular governor in the nation. He is less popular than Mitch McConnell, mainly due to his attacks on public schools. Yeah, he has a 34% approval rating and a 53% disapproval rating, which is basically the reverse of what John Bel Edwards had earlier. So he is up against, wrong race, he is up against Andy Beshear, the Democratic statewide elected Attorney General right now. He is also the son of former Governor Steve Beshear, who was also a Democrat. Bevin is hated. Bevin is hated a lot. Bashir, on the other hand, is more approved of and is not seen as this public school attacking guy. Yeah, that's pretty good. He is he had a what seemed to be a tough race against Rocky Adkins, but then in the end he ended up winning by relatively large margin. 6 points in a primary. I guess that's kind of a lot. Um, the polls show Andy Bashir likely winning, but it will still be a very close race. You can't always trust polls. But Matt Bevin is wildly unpopular, and Andy Bashir is not. He has been statewide elected as a Democrat before recently, and he is currently an incumbent. This one is Tilt Democrat. Hold on. Tilt's not working. There we go. Tilt Democrat. That means it will be down to the wire, very close, due to the fact that Kentucky is a very conservative state, but still projected towards the Democrats. Now, Mississippi, with Lieutenant Governor Tate Reeves versus Attorney General Jim Hood. Jim Hood was originally seen as a favorite to win this race by people across the nation. Or, well, more politics nerds across the nation, like myself. Um, Jim Hood is the popular Democratic Attorney General statewide elected. The governor, Phil Bryant, cannot run for re-election due to term limits. There, Tate Reeves had a primary against Bill Waller Jr., who didn't stand that much of a chance against Tate. Jim Hood faced against, well, nobody with a Wikipedia page, so nobody that matters. um, the race is seen by most pundits as lean Republican, and I agree with them. The polling has Tate Reeves in the lead, and even here, I feel Tate Reeves will do even better than this, as shown by the 2018 runoff election, special election in Mississippi's Senate. That was won by Cindy Hyde-Smith by large margins, and everybody thought she wouldn't. Now, if we go back up, Tate Reeves is not unpopular. They are both relatively popular and not really have name recognition. I mean, Jim Hood does have some, but it's pretty much just a Republican versus Democrat race. Could be close, but no. Lean Republican. That would mean I see the governor's race as ending up like this, with Kentucky and Louisiana going to the Democrats, Kentucky being a flip from before, and the new governor of Tate Reeves in Mississippi. Now, this is what it would look like in January 2020. This is the Governors Association map. Now, on to the legislative elections. The only one that matters is Virginia. Now, Virginia is having both elections. It is a Democratic state with a state house and state senate, both held by Republicans at this time. Now, both will be close, but I see as being picked up by the Democrats due to the fact that Trump is very unpopular in Virginia. Virginia is a Democratic state at this point, and the the people who do show up will vote for Democrats because they it's Virginia. Now, the that would help maybe combat gerrymandering in the state legislature come the 2020 census. So I see that going to the Democrats. New Jersey, I see that going to the staying with the Democrats, and Louisiana and Mississippi will stay with the Republicans. The smaller local elections, like mayoral elections, they'll mostly stick with Democrats. The ones I mentioned earlier, Charlotte, Charleston, Columbus, Houston, Indianapolis, Philly, San Francisco, all these big cities with mayoral elections, those will more than likely, stay in Democratic hands due to them being cities. And smaller local elections will have um, more Republican turnout. Yes, so, alright. That is all I wish to talk about. So, I will probably do another checkup on this election Wednesday morning. Alright, I'm leaving. Goodbye.